Hello, and welcome to Talking GTA Episode 18. I'm your host, Hugo One, and this is a podcast about all things Grand Theft Auto related. Lots of stuff happening in the world of GTA recently, so we're going to talk about all those things. But first, I want to get into the feedback from last week, some of the YouTube comments. We talked about what happened to CJ after San Andreas and some other things, including what music might be in GTA 6. So let's get right into it. Zim says, what I personally think happened is CJ is probably a successful businessman running multiple ventures, judging by that billboard in GTA 4 and the sheer amount of wealth he's acquired by the end of the game. Sweet's dead. CJ destroyed Crash, so there's nobody to really lock him up for good, just to blackmail CJ. The ball has already tried to kill him multiple times, and Sweet only escaped narrowly most times, so I reckon the Ballers will just get lucky one day. We already know Kemp, Paul, and Macker got into rehab somewhere before 2002, although I'd imagine they both went back to music before eventually retiring. Mad Dog canonically still has a successful music career according to references to him in GTA 5. Kendall eventually becomes a member of the board of directors of the Four Dragons Casino and most likely married Caesar. Caesar probably gave up on gangbanging eventually and most likely runs several garages in Doherty. I'm assuming CJ eventually gave him the one in Doherty to him. The truth remains a hippie hermit. Yes, so good thoughts there, Zim. Thank you. I agree. I also like to think that Caesar and Kendall, were very successful in their legitimate businesses of the garage and the casino and stuff like that. And I hope for the best for them because they were good characters. And yes, all the other stuff you said, Sweet dead, great to me. And CJ, being successful, love it all. Thank you, friend. The crippled one says CJ was kidnapped and made to disappear. That's what people think about Tony or Sal sent Tony or any of those theories about CJ kind of, I guess, getting dealt with for the Caligula's heist. Tora Manazin says, I don't know what exactly happened to CJ after the events of San Andreas. Voice actor Young Melee has refused to work as CJ's voice. According to this reason, there are only two possibilities in my opinion. One, CJ will be recreated in HD universe on the next GTA title with a different voice actor. Or two, Rockstar don't give a shit about it and CJ, the protagonist of 3D San Andreas, can just watch credit screen till this day. Like Caesar said on the Green Saber mission, just in time, SA, take a hard look over there. Thank you, Tora Manazin, for that comment. Appreciate it. Sven says, I just hope CJ landed on his feet. No more bullshit cop missions, no more chasing down hood rats, no more gang warfare. Carl should get to kick back and enjoy his millions. He's bloody earned it. I agree. Thank you, Sven. Appreciate it. Kitsuistic C says, if Tony killed CJ, he would have had the Mountain Cloud boys after him because of Woozy. The Aztecas, too, because of both Caesar and Kendall, not to mention Grove Street. Sweet might be a busta, but I don't think he would have let that shit fly. CJ isn't a made man, but he's a man with numerous connections and affiliations with the Chinese mafia and various LS gangs, and he's rich. Maybe that's why Tony went into hiding and came back in LC only years later. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, CJ does have a lot of people to kind of take revenge if anything did happen to him. So yeah, that's a good point about Woozy and all his connections. So yes, thank you for that comment, friend. Appreciate it. Talking about the music in GTA 6, Richard says the only specific song I think I'd want is Blue Oyster Cult's Florida Man. So I never heard of this song before. I looked it up briefly and it is pretty good. It does sound, it would fit perfectly in a Vice City GTA 6 setting on the radio, on a rock radio station or something like that. Yeah, so that is a cool one. Thank you, Richard. Appreciate it. Is Zilla 2000 says songs from KSI, Babyface, Ella May, Aim Marais, Doja Cat for radio station and clubs. I know Babyface. I don't know a lot of the other ones. I'm too old. I'm out of touch. But yeah, there's definitely gonna be clubs. We've already seen in the leaked footage that Jason and Lucia go to the club. So yeah, I'm sure there's gonna be a lot of modern music, a lot of modern club music music and stuff in the game. Thank you, Azilla. Appreciate it. Burr says the idea of adding new cities or some kind of GTA United State is just not very smart. The talents are already gone. If they can do that, they would have done that years ago. Well, I think when we're talking about moving forward in the GTA series and making kind of a united map of all these different cities and stuff, you don't necessarily need Tommy Vercetti to be involved or anything like that. You would just have all our familiar settings of Liberty City, Vice City, LS, so on and so forth, maybe San Fierro, Las Venturas, and maybe new places, all in a mega big map. And, you go from there. You don't necessarily need the characters from previous games to make that work, but just as a setting or just a map or whatever you want to call it, that would be kind of what the idea would be, I guess, behind that. So, but thank you for the comment, Burr. Appreciate it. Mr. Screen says, agree with customization. My online avatar looks pretty much identical to me, except he's about 100 pounds lighter, and you can't make your character a fat bastard like myself. Ability to customize body size this time, please, Rockstar. Thank you, Mr. Screen. Yeah, I don't understand that one. It's everybody is so kind of similar looking as far as body shape and size in GTA Online, where that's obviously not the case at all in real life. I don't really get that. Yeah, there definitely needs to be more customization online, especially in that, as far as height, weight, any of those things. So yeah, I don't get it. I don't know why that's not an option, because it doesn't seem like there's any kind of technical limitations. Clearly there's not, with CJ being, big, a big fat dude, or all muscly and shit, and all the things he was in San Andreas. So it seems like they could have easily made it possible with the online characters. So hopefully next time. Yeah, thank you, Mr. Screen. Appreciate it. Joaquin says, sucks that we never got a SA Stories game. It would have been a great ending for the trilogy. Yeah, I think everybody's pretty much disappointed in the fact that there was never a San Andreas Stories, because it's such a good map and there's such good characters that you could have gone with in a Stories game. Me personally, I would have loved a Caesar Stories game where you kind of see his journey with his gang prior to meeting Kendall and CJ and all that stuff. But yeah, it sucks that it never happened. I agree. Thank you, Joaquin. Appreciate it. Max says, hey, Hugo Mang, thanks for another great pod. With GTA 6 taking place in Florida, do you think we could see a GTA Universe version of Cape Canaveral, Kennedy / Kennedy Space Center? The Cape is not that close to Miami, but I could see them working it in just because it has a lot of potential as a set piece. I can definitely imagine some Black Project or Humane Labs-esque missions taking place at the spaceport / Space Force base. In a universe centered around phallic humor, I feel like a location with huge rockets would be hard for Rockstar to resist. Space heist, moon heist. Let me know your thoughts on this, Mang. You to Mang. Thank you, Max. Appreciate it. Yeah, I agree. I think it's a perfect opportunity. Part of the things I worry about with Vice City is that it's going to lack a lot of kind of different, unique areas. Kind of like with LS, you have just different parts of the city itself that are, like Franklin's neighborhood versus Michael's neighborhood. Very, very different places. Then you have like the ports, and you have Vinewood, and you have the beaches. You had all these different places within the city, plus, Sandy Shores and Paleto Bay and all these places up north that were very different as well. So you had a lot of variety within that map. So with Miami, or with the, Vice City, I worry that maybe they're gonna lack some variety. So, different parts of Florida, such as, the Kennedy Space Center, or like a Disneyland or some other Florida, or Disney World rather, Florida related things would be cool to see in there. Not necessarily where it's so restricted to just Miami and just right in the Miami area. So yeah, I think that would be really cool. Anything to do with space would be cool, especially since they have these flying bikes and all these things in GTA Online. Make it so we can fly a rocket to outer space or whatever. Who knows? That would be cool. Thank you, Max. Appreciate it. Mr. Incognito says, if Rockstar ever reached out to you with the job offer to be a radio DJ as Hugo 1 in their next game, would you consider the offer? not only would I consider it, well, don't tell them this, not that they're ever going to do that, but I would do it for free. It would be like a dream come true to be involved in any GTA game at all. I just think it would be so cool. I often think about stuff like that when I think of these actors that have played characters in the GTA games and then they don't care about them at all. You know, they don't really realize what an impact they had culturally with the video games or just on people's lives in general. Like somebody like Young Melee, who is very focused on his rap career and stuff, and I'm sure he knows that it's all about CJ and people know him as CJ and he's kind of sick of it. And Trevor, we've talked about him about that as well. But you know, it's so that's why people are bothering them about it all the time, is because it's such a big part of their lives that these characters were so great and they loved them and they remember them and have fond memories of them. I got a cameo from James Yagashi, I think is how you pronounce his name, the voice of Woozie. And he, I guess, originally on his cameo just listed some Marvel thing or whatever he was a part of that he may be known for. But then he put GTA on there. So if you go to Cameo and look up GTA, you'll find Woozie or whatever. I think he maybe has found out recently that, you know, people really love these characters and stuff and remember him from that. And it's cool. He likes it. He seems to embrace it from an interview I saw recently where he mentioned it. So yeah, to answer your question, absolutely, I would love to be involved in GTA in any way at all, period. Thank you, Mr. Incognito. Appreciate it. Killer Whale 24 says, my friend's boss has a ton of apartments, and recently someone just up and left and quit paying and left a bunch of stuff, more or less trash, and amongst it was a PS2 and a bunch of games. He sold me Vice City Stories for $20. Cool. Vice City Stories, I think, is fairly rare on the PS2. Like, I think in the game stores, it is like upwards of $60 or something like that, because there's not a whole lot of copies out there. Like San Andreas, there's a million copies of, so it's not very valuable. But so yeah, a copy of Vice City Stories is cool to have. So good find and good purchase, Killer Whale. Thank you for that story. Appreciate it. That's it for all the comments I wanted to talk about. Thank you as well to everybody who left comments that just said hello or any kind of positive things. I read them all. Thank you very much, friends. Appreciate it. So now we get to talk about some of the new stuff going on in the world of GTA.
My eyes! Oh, my eyes!
Okay, so if you keep up with the world of GTA at all, you probably heard about this exploit recently on GTA Online that is causing a lot of problems for PC players. I'm going to read an article from Engadget that kind of summarizes it. It says, a new exploit in the PC version of Grand Theft Auto Online is causing players to lose game progress and in-game currency, with some accounts becoming corrupted or banned. The exploit, a remote code execution, was distributed through the developer of the North Online GTA cheat mod. The exploit can reportedly impact anyone, not just players in the same multiplayer lobby as the attacker, according to Bleeping Computer. That means anyone currently online and playing the game on PC is at least theoretically vulnerable to attack. Console players are unaffected. Engadget reached out to Rockstar for comment. We will update this article if we hear back. The company tweeted this acknowledgement of the fiasco on Monday. Rockstar support tweeted out and said, we are aware of potential new exploits in GTA Online for PC, which we aim to resolve in an upcoming planned security-related title update. If you think you might have experienced any related issues, please reach out to Rockstar support. I've reached out to Rockstar support before and it's a mess. It's just not a very good system they have there, which I've gotten to discussions about this before, about how it's set up and I guess the people you interact with they don't know shit about the game or whatever, unless it gets elevated to somebody who does. But, you know, it is good that they have an avenue if you are affected by this. But anyway, the article goes on to say North's developer removed the abusive elements on January 21st and apologized. Their changelog reads, bad judgment on my part for adding this public. Although GTA Online doesn't block harmless community created mods, those distributing cheats or other hacks tilting the game's competitive balance may face real world consequences. Rockstar and parent company Take-Two Interactive have previously taken legal action against cheat makers, including the creator of an infinite money hack who was ordered to pay $150,000 plus attorney fees in 2019. A workaround for corrupted accounts, which some players have claimed works, is to delete the Rockstar Games folder from the Windows Documents folder before reloading the game. However, we recommend avoiding the PC version until Rockstar cleans things up. So as of right now, I don't think there's been a fix yet for this. But so yeah, if you're on PC, be careful not to maybe even go online at all. I'm not currently playing any GTA Online, so I'm not too bothered by this personally, but I understand if you play this every day and you play on PC, it's going to be very annoying to have to worry about having your account completely locked or deleted or whatever. Some of the options or some of the things that people can do are here. So it's incredibly unfortunate, and I hope Rockstar is making this a priority to get fixed. But at the same time, I think that while Rockstar does, need to speak up and say something and get in and correct this, I think we as a community should be very upset with the people who put out this type of stuff, these mods that cause this type of damage. They are the ones that are kind of ruining it for everybody. So when people are mad that Rockstar is taking down, graphics mods for the trilogy or whatever, or this, that, or the other, we need to, as mad as you are at Rockstar for doing that, and that you think they're wrong, please be mad at these people that make the like stuff that actually causes problems for players online and does this type of stuff. So even if they made a mod that just gifts out money or something like that, I think we should shun people that use that type of stuff, because it's like, come on, now you're going to ruin it for everybody. Now you're making this a priority over GTA 6 or over, good DLC or something like that. Rockstar has to stop what they're doing and fix these issues because somebody, thinks it's funny to fuck around in the game and, just kill your player or have God mode or whatever. And we may think it's harmless, but the people that are doing this are not helping grow the franchise at all. They're holding it back because they just keep adding things for Rockstar to have to take on instead of put time and effort into making the game better. So I think it would be great if you see people doing this, or you have friends that brag about it and say, hey, I got this mod menu that makes your dick 10 feet long and you run around the game and blah, 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 blah. Say, no, don't use stuff like that, because the minute some fucking CNN or somebody gets a hold of, video game has big dick mod and children play this video game, it's going to cause nothing but problems for everybody. So please, no big dick mods, no money mods, no nothing. Let's just play the game and it's all good. If you don't like the game, if you can't play it without having a super big dick mod, go find another game to play, because this one isn't for you. We got regular dicks over here. So that's all I wanted to say about that. Also this week, the Trilogy Definitive Edition released on Steam finally, which people have been waiting over a year for this, for those that wanted it on Steam and didn't buy it from Rockstar originally. Talk about, obviously, PC players. So very often people ask me, is it worth buying the Trilogy Definitive Edition now that it's on Steam or whatever? And I always say that it depends on what you're looking to get out of the game or whatever. So for players that kind of love these old games and don't play them at all, they don't have the older versions, or maybe they do have the older versions but they do lack some things that they're used to in modern games, then the Definitive Edition would be good for that, because it does have autosave feature, it does have widescreen and higher resolutions and all that stuff, and then with gameplay improvements, it has the weapon wheel and the radio wheel like GTA 5 does. And it bundles all three of these games together, which, by the way, these are three of the greatest games of all time, in my opinion. A lot of people think so as well. So a lot of the discussion around the Definitive Edition first of all, just dismisses the greatness of these games and say, why would they want us to pay, $60 or like, I think they're $30 on sale now. Why would they want us to pay for that or blah, 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 blah. So $30 for these 3 games on your modern console or your modern PC in this updated format is definitely worth it. So in that regard, yes, it is worth it to me. If you have the older versions and you don't mind playing those and that's what you like to play, then you have no reason to get these unless you just want to experience what they are, experience them for what they are. What you don't want to do is fall into this trap of we have to constantly talk negative about this because that's just the one true opinion in the world of GTA. And there's a lot of that right now. So I think that we can have a conversation about the pros and cons of the definitive edition. That includes a lot of nuance and isn't just, it is good, it is bad, or something like that. So for me personally, I haven't been playing a lot of definitive edition lately, and it's really for like not lazy, but personal reasons as far as the way I play the game. So like with Vice City, if I wanted to do play it the way I play it, speed run it, and I'd have to go do cone crazy and make all this money, which there are glitches to do to like dupe missions and stuff like that. But the old school way of like buying a property in a replay and you don't spend the money or whatever is not a thing because replays don't exist. Same thing with GTA 3. I always use a bribe star replay to get rid of the cops anywhere in the game. It's a nice little glitch to have. It's a nice little crutch to help you kind of get through the game. That's not available in the definitive edition, and it makes sense that it's not because there's no replay feature. You don't need a replay feature nowadays when we have ways to stream and capture our gameplay otherwise. So for me, I miss all these like beneficial glitches from the past. And then also some of the negatives that go with the definitive edition now are still since the beginning are that like in San Andreas, the enemies will light you up on certain missions and you don't stand a chance. So the average player would be incredibly frustrated to have to deal with missions like beat down on beat up at the end of San Andreas as soon after you do a gang war in Glen Park, and then you have to go to confront beat up and there's a bunch of ballers outside his house. But as soon as you take control of CJ in that final scene, you are instantly like torn to shreds before you even get a chance to shoot back or run away. There's a good chance you could die before you can do anything, which just doesn't make any sense to have something like that in the game because like it takes the fun factor out of it. You shouldn't die instantly. Same thing with Black Project. When you're trying to leave with the jetpack, you just get lit up. Green goo when you're in the jetpack and you're trying to shoot the train, lit up. So the stuff like that is very frustrating to deal with. The swimming is very slow. These are things that bother me after hours and hours and hours and hours of gameplay. So like I recognize that there's some weird, textures or the characters look funny. I don't care about that stuff. I liked it when the bridge was missing in the woods and like the parking lot at the Truths Motel that you meet him at. The parking lot was covered in grass. It looked stupid. It was ridiculous, but that was fixed. They fixed a lot of the crazy shit with the game. So it is definitely playable for those that want to play it, but you may run into issues throughout the missions that are very frustrating that just don't need to be in there at all. I don't understand why that hasn't been fixed. So, I love to have these conversations. I love to talk about, what is actually wrong with these games. But unfortunately, anytime this comes up, the topic of the remasters comes up, it's nothing but like toxic negativity that is so frustrating to deal with. And I want to give you an example real quick. There's a tweet from his name is Ben. It's at Videotech_, and it says Grand Theft Auto the Trilogy, the Defective Edition, managed to pull the top best-selling charts last week, becoming the 8th best selling game on Steam. So the week it released, it was the 8th best selling game on Steam, which makes sense because not everybody is, within this whole GTA world where they see all this defective edition talk and stuff like that. They're just people who, want to play video games when they have the time, and they, saw that their favorite games were remastered on Steam, and they said, hell yeah, and they got it, and they probably played it and had a great time. So, but there's a lot of talk of this defective edition stuff. So anyway, Ben goes on to say, all hope is lost for fixes. People let Rockstar get away with selling a flawed product. Okay, so here's some of the problems I have with that. You're not letting anybody get away with anything. Rockstar is not your child. You don't have to teach them a lesson about anything. If you don't want this, don't buy it. The reason people are buying it is because they want it. And it's fine. If you don't like it, then it's not for you. And that's okay. It doesn't have to be for you. The idea that all hope is lost for fixes, a ton of stuff has been fixed in there since the beginning. People were vocal, Rockstar heard them, and they fixed a bunch of stuff. Do I want the stuff that I just talked about fixed? Absolutely. If it doesn't get fixed, then I'll continue to not play it if I don't want to. And then when I do want to play it, I know what to expect from it. But also to point out, there's been some, I guess, on Steam database or something, you can see what updates are coming in. Supposedly something is coming, another update for the definitive edition. So who knows what it is? Every time we hear about that, we hope for the best, but there hasn't been a major update to it in a long time. So anyway, on this thread from this tweet that I just read, the first reply is a picture of a guy with a gun to his head that says, "I'm a kill myself." This is in reply to the game being the 8th best-selling title on Steam. Why talk like this? Next reply, Rockstar knows the type of audience they have and they take full advantage of it. It's why we have the Trilogy Definitive Edition and GTA Plus, and why GTA Online is the way that it is now and still ongoing. I don't understand this. This is capitalism. They have a product, they sell it. If it sells, clearly people want it. That's how it's judged. So why are we attacking an audience that plays this game? Why are you on the internet talking shit about people that are just enjoying themselves playing a video game? It's crazy to talk like this. Next reply, I don't expect any fixes to come. I'm going to stick with the original games on PC. Bam, that's it. That's all you got to do. You go play those and you're happy, then it's great. It's awesome. You don't need to bring other people down. A lot of the stuff I see is this talk that the people that play it, the people that like it, they're the bad ones. They're the ones that need to be yelled at because they're letting Rockstar get away with selling these games or whatever, which I mean, I don't know. I think they're buying exactly what Rockstar is selling. It's just a remaster. It's not a remake. Don't expect it to be a totally new game. They just remastered some 20-year-old games, and this is kind of what came out, and it is what it is. If you like it, play it. If you don't, it's fine. A bunch of other comments on here. I don't want to read them all. You can go find this thread if you want, but it's all just total negativity. Everybody's so angry about this. It's just, you're not helping anybody by doing this. Lift up the things you like and, have your opinion, and you can have any opinion you want. You can hate these remasters all you want, but there's no reason to attack people that like it. And there's no reason to act like Rockstar owes you anything or that you need to set them straight because they're just foolish and they don't know shit. And you got to tell them what a piece of shit they are for releasing this. None of that is necessary. Please just be kind. That's all we need. If you're kind, then it'll be fine. Everybody will be happy. So that's all I wanted to say about that. If you are playing the definitive edition on Steam, I hope you're enjoying it. If you're passing on it, then cool. Hope you're enjoying the originals. If you only play like the HD Universe, GTA 4 and 5, cool. Hope you're enjoying those. So anyway, thank you for listening to my rant on that. I'd be interested to hear what you have to say. If you have any thoughts on the definitive edition or anything else, please email talkinggta69@gmail.com, or you can call and leave a voicemail at 1-818-691-5807. and we'll go through your emails and calls next week. Okay. But for this week, we have all the emails and calls sitting here waiting for us now. So let's get to that.
Wise choice, sir. Wise choice.
All right, email time. First email here is from Jency, our friend Jency. I missed you in the comments, Jency. Jency's going to hate the shit I said about the Definitive Edition. He always calls it the Defective Edition. So anyway, thank you, Jency, for the email. It says, what's your favorite GTA antagonist? My favorite GTA antagonist is Officer Frank Tenpenny from the game Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. I think he's just a good, tough guy. You never have this issue of, betrayal or anything like that. He's always just basically your enemy from the beginning. So you work for him when you have to because he's controlling you. But then, when you rise up and you take down Pulaski and then you have him left, it's a great feeling to take him out, or he took himself out. But I always thought, Samuel L. Jackson did a great job as Tenpenny, like a great job. He didn't fucking think this is some video game, it's beneath me. He played the part and he did a great job. And so Tenpenny was good because of that. And he's a lot like, my favorite movie, Training Day, Alonzo Harris, Denzel's character in that movie. So I like him for those reasons as well. But yeah, I think Tenpenny is my favorite antagonist. Thank you, Jency, for the email. Appreciate it. All right, next one from Mike the Nerd. Hey, Hugo, how's it going? Your podcasts are always interesting to listen, hence why I look forward to them every 2 weeks now. Anyways, on with the email. 1, I totally recommend you play the Mafia Trilogy because it's like GTA, but only difference is you're part of the Mafia and it's set all the way in the past, like the 30s, 50s, 60s, etc. The games have fantastic stories and top-notch narratives when it comes to telling a story about how the protagonists join the Mafia or form their own Mafia gang. The only downside is that you can't really continue on to free mode after you beat the main story of those games unless you enter a separate mode, which is called Free Ride, which I think is only available in Mafia 1 Definitive Edition. So the idea that sounds like the game sound good, except for the fact that it's based so far in the past, like the 30s, 50s, and 60s. I just think that's so far in the past for me that I'd struggle with it. Although I do love the Godfather movies, which are set way in the past. So, at some point I probably will give all those games a try. 2, I've been hearing a lot of people saying that in February GTA 6 is going to have an announcement trailer because of the post Rockstar made last year confirming it. But I'm keeping my expectations low just in case if it doesn't happen, like when people said it will reveal March 2020 and October 2020, but it never happened. Yeah, there's always a date coming up where, this is the date where we're going to have it. And I've been guilty of this myself, thinking, the 20th anniversary of Vice City. Of course, this is the time. And I still think, what the fuck, man? They really missed an opportunity to do something then about this game, but whatever. So yeah, February. And even if, let's say right now in Rockstar headquarters, they have on the wall, February is going to be an announcement trailer, that could still get changed because of who knows, this, that, or the other. So yeah, hopefully that would be cool. That's the first time I'm hearing of February, but yeah. 3, even though it would be simple to port Liberty City and Los Santos to GTA 6, it would still need an update to hold up to modern standards in the 2020s, like new updated radio stations and buildings, which would still be hard work for developers and very expensive. Yes, that's true. As much as, but as tough as it would be, if they're gonna have such a focus on online, I think it would be worth their while to do that, just because it would just give them so many more room, or so many more places for, the activities of the game, of online, and different places to play and set things up and have some fun. Anyways, I hope you have an excellent Tuesday, and to make sure to keep your expectations low so you won't set yourself up for disappointment. Yes, that's just a good idea for life in general. Thank you, Mike, for the email. Appreciate it. All right, next one from Clay Doggy. Hey, Hugo, Clay Doggy here. Just a few things again. In the last show, Joshua mentioned other GTA type games out there, which I know you don't play. I'll say this. After GTA 3, there were a lot of other games trying to cash in on GTA 3's success. Most didn't work, like The Getaway, True Crime, Driver 3, etc. That being said, I will give it up to Saints Row. The first one wasn't the greatest, but it was clearly above all the other games. Once Saints Row 2 hit, there were tons of improvements and became a really fun series. I know the latest one received a lot of hate, mostly as there were a lot of bugs that needed patching, which are now fixed. But overall, I enjoyed it. Side note, imagine if the DE trilogy actually got fixed. Anyway, back to your point. These games aren't as good as GTA, so I doubt you'll ever find the need to play them, which I totally get. Next, Rockstar support. Where do I begin? Personally, I've been in the IT operations and support field for over 20 years now, and they are one of the worst companies I've ever had to deal with. They provide nothing but automated canned answers without ever reading the issue. I've dealt with them many times over the years and can only wish I never have to again. Personal example of their incompetence. When GTA 5 first hit, the only way to get the collector's edition was either from GameStop or the Rockstar warehouse. As I never shop at GameStop and recommend no one ever does, I went directly to the source. Well, my copy was bad is all I can assume. I bought the 360 version and it crashed all the time. In dealing with Rockstar support, they blamed my Xbox, of course, which all other games worked fine on. They even had me open a support ticket with the Xbox team to do diagnostic checks on it, which all passed. Then they said I should return it for another copy from wherever I purchased it. When I told them I bought it from Rockstar, they told me they don't sell games directly. This went on for 3 months, not kidding, until I finally got someone who could exchange my copy for a PS3 copy as they were sold out of the collector's edition. So now I have an Xbox collector's edition box with the PS3 special edition steelbook and disc. Whoever's running that team needs to be fired. Lastly, based on your recommendation, I grabbed an audiobook copy of Jacked. I'm a few hours in now up to the release of GTA 3, and you're right, this book is great. I've picked up a few incorrect things here and there. Maybe the recording was from the first run of the book or something and needed some corrections here and there, but I'm really enjoying learning about the background and creation of DMA and Rockstar. Good call. That's all for now. Keep up the great work, homie. Thank you, Clay Doggy. Appreciate it. Yeah, Saints Row, who knows, maybe I could try it sometime, but yeah, as long as I got GTA, I might not need to. And yeah, Rockstar support, like I kind of mentioned earlier, I've had issues with them and it's just a mess. So yeah, now with this mega issue online, I'm worried that people are going to continue to run into these issues with Rockstar support and they may not be able to get their accounts back. Who knows how many people had some shit go wrong and are just dealing with Rockstar support to try to get their account back now and have been unable to play for a week or so, you know, so it does suck. But enjoy that Jacked, and thank you for the email, Clay Doggy. Appreciate it. All right, next one. Hello, Hugo. It's the Infernus. It's been a long time anyways. Grand Theft Auto 6 is taking place in parts of Vice City, but in which timeline? Badger Goodger made a video about it and gave his opinions, yet my opinion is it can take place at modern times. If it's 1970s or 2002, which Rockstar haven't made that setting based on that time, how will the online component work? We know the MMO online component has messed up the game. With future stuff, it can sort of work on non-timeline game, which is GTA Online. But if we predict the timeline to be in the 70s or 2002, it would be outrageous. So I am just crazy and insane. I can't even predict the Infernus, aka me, would be in GTA 6. Conclusion. Just talking about GTA 6 timeline and online, maybe we can get co-op though, or even Cursed Infernus in GTA 6. Questions. What is your opinion on the current topic? What is your opinion on GTA Online on PC situation? Well, GTA Online on PC, I kind of went into that earlier, so you should know how I feel. As far as timeline, I think everything we've seen from the leaks suggests it's definitely going to be modern time, just based on the way the buildings look, the cars look, the little dialogue we heard about Jay Norris dying. We know that's after GTA 5. Otherwise, co-op I think is a great idea, especially if there's two main characters. It would be great if they just worked a co-op in there somehow. So I think that's a great idea, the Infernus, and I hope to see the car, the Infernus, in the game as well. Appreciate it, friend. All right, next comment from Woods the Wall. Sup, Hugo. Just had a couple of things to share this week. First off, I'm coming to the conclusion that Arthur Morgan is the best written character Rockstar has ever put into a video game. CJ is still my personal favorite, but Arthur has certain nuance to him that makes him very special. For those who don't know, at the end of some missions, he'll take a moment to journal his thoughts. It gives his little monologue as he writes, and sometimes his observations send chills up my spine. He's a very lonely and conflicted man, and the game gets that across without being ham-fisted about it. Can't say enough good things about the writing. It's just stellar. The only other thing to share was that I had a quick blast on Vice City last week, specifically the PS2 version. I'm so glad there's cleaner ports and versions out there now because this shit was janky. I cannot imagine speedrunners putting up with this murky 20-year-old technology in their attempts. A highlight for me, zipping along on my Sanchez so fast that I was outrunning the console's ability to load the city in front of me. I still love Vice City and always will, but the PS2 version ain't it, chief. I promise I'll stop banging on the RDR2 in future emails. All the best, homie Woods. Thank you, Woods. Appreciate it. No, have fun on Red Dead 2. I remember when it came out, I had a lot of fun with it. It was great. So yeah, enjoy. It's great to have a game that you are experiencing for the first time and loving it. So enjoy that. As far as PS2 version goes of Vice City or any of these games, I know that some people prefer the old versions, the PS2 versions, but when I see these older versions, they do look kind of like shit to me, and they're not really for me. But for those that like it, people often talk about the nostalgic orange hue of San Andreas or whatever. I mean, I get it. I understand why people would like that. My preference is obviously the PC versions, but for those that like that, I'm glad they have it. I'm glad they can play it. And I guess they like kind of the jankiness of it, or some people like the jankiness of retro gaming in general. But yeah, the games are just so far ahead of their time. It was crazy. It was crazy that the PS2 could handle those types of games, especially San Andreas. By the end of that, it's amazing. So anyway, thank you, Woods. Appreciate it. All right. Next one. So I wanted to ask you this. Rockstar is known for making other games other than GTA, right? Did you know they almost made a wrestling game? Imagine if they went ahead and did that, they would have been in the same level as 2K and THQ. Strange enough, Rockstar never made a wrestling game. Thank you for the email, Saihami. Yeah, I guess they probably would have made a lot of different games had GTA not had the success it had. I think, since they have to pour so much into that now, there's really no time to make any other games. So I guess it's a good thing that they don't have these other games that they're making nowadays. Even though, Red Dead was great, but Red Dead is basically just a kind of GTA variant. So as far as something totally different, yeah, they're just so loaded with, the GTAs and the Red Deads that I guess they don't have time to make the wrestling games or whatever, But I also, to just briefly touch on that about like 2K and stuff, I really, really hate the way like sports licensing is with video games now, where there's only one game, and it's like that for years. The years so-and-so has the contract and only they can make the WWE game, or only they can make the NBA game or whatever. Well, NBA is, I guess there's different NBA ones, but when there are options, the best ones will rise to the top. And that's why EA wants to kind of like make it impossible for anybody else to make like an NFL game, because if somebody else made one better, nobody would buy Madden. So anyway, so that's kind of my thoughts on sports video games or whatever. So thank you for the email, friend. Appreciate it. All right, next email from Dennis. What's up, Hugo? I was just going to ask what your input is on Leslie Benzies. It seems as GTA has sort of taken a path to where there is no return, such as futuristic bikes, rocket cars, crazy railguns, and other little odds and ends. To me, it seems since his departure, GTA as a whole has been slowly going downhill. Do you think Leslie Benzies had a hand in what made the final cuts when it came to what would be scrapped and what would be implemented? Also, do you think GTA 6 will feed off of GTA 5's success, so shark cards progress carrying over online? As far as Leslie Benzies goes, I think that obviously he had a big part in a lot of the, the greatest GTA games of all time, and will be missed, as will Dan Houser and Laszlo and everybody that's departed. But I'm not sure that any, one person or any of these people, are solely the reason that, each one of these games was as good as it was, because it was definitely a team effort along the way, and hopefully whoever is taking over their roles going forward is not trying to change the franchise as a whole and make it, more of what you get online with the futuristic stuff, which I guess for this, open world online game, it's fine that these things are in there, gives you something to spend your money on, gives you something to do, all that stuff. So in the next single player, content, I definitely hope that none of that's in there. As far as like the next online world, I personally don't think there will be any progress carrying over. I think maybe you could get something if you transfer your character or something like that, transfer your account, you'll get a bonus, but not like everything you had or all your cars. Or maybe you get to buy a few free cars in the beginning or something like that, but I feel like it really has to reset, which will be bad for a lot of people, but better for the world, the online world as a whole. But I think, shark cards will definitely, if you own shark cards in 5, maybe they won't carry over. Like like if you have unused ones or whatever, but they'll definitely be selling them in the next world. So it will be interesting to see what they decide to do. But I think it would be a huge mistake if everything just carried over. So anyway, thank you, Dennis, for the email. Appreciate it. All right, that's it for emails. Let's move on to the phone calls.
All right, let's go to the phones. Hello, caller. You're on Chatterbox.
Hey, Hugo. My name's Alex. Long-time lurker, on and off for about 6 years nearly. Made me really sad that no one called for the last 2 weeks, so I wanted to give you some man love, some real man love. How about that? Unfortunately, I only usually watch on YouTube, but yeah, of course, just wanted to say keep up the good work. I love watching the videos. My thoughts on GTA 6, I think would be really nice if they were able to incorporate a story that, kind of begins in Florida, quote unquote. You got 2 young protagonists, male and female. Maybe they meet, robbing the same restaurant at the same time or something. Very romantic. And then the story in my head, maybe they just kind of fall into the crime world kind of slowly. They kind of rise up the ranks, meet new people to work for, kind of like a classic GTA. Take a GTA 3, Claude's kind of a nobody, and then he works his way up and kind of takes over the mafia, the cartel. And I don't know, maybe they go from Florida to meeting someone to work for over in Havana or something, and then maybe it does explode even further and they have to go work for someone else bigger in Las Venturas. I mean, that would be great. And eventually maybe some kind of homecoming where they come back to Florida, or some bitch in Miami needs a slap. Well, sorry, Vice City, of course. But yeah, I don't know, just food for thought. I know it's kind of a basic foundation, kind of cliche, stuff we've seen before, but that's what I would like. I would like, being able to explore Las Venturas, a modern one, maybe branching off of the country, going to Cuba, maybe Puerto Rico, maybe Haiti. I mean, that's kind of what they had in Vice City, the Cubans, the Haitians. Sorry for the ramble. Love your work. Big fan. Take it easy. Oh, and fuck sweet.
Yes, thank you, Alex, for the call. Appreciate it. Yes, fuck sweet. I like the idea. I'm also curious, and I think I talked about that earlier. I think that's kind of what we're all wondering, is how the storyline will go as far as location, because there's only so much to do in, Miami. Obviously, the Vice City, Grand Theft Auto Vice City was fairly small, and things were, just a lot smaller in general back then. Now, we have to have this mega map, and there will be places outside of it, but will it be other major cities? Will it be in other countries and stuff like that? So it will be interesting to see. And but no matter what it is, I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to the story of the 2 protagonists and how they come together, and their journey and how it ends. So very excited for that. Thank you for the call, though, friend. Appreciate it.
Hey, Hugo, what's up? This is Drew from Illinois. I recently just subscribed to your channel and your podcast. I've been watching it all week, and I just want to tell you, man, I really like all your stuff, man. I like what you do. Gets me through my work days and all, so just keep that up. And my idea for GTA 6 would be like, what if what if they made it to like we go to like when we get arrested, they actually take us to prison, and it's the whole process of us like getting in the cop car, taking a ride to the prison and all, and doing our time. But like say during the rides, we might come across opportunities just to escape them, just to get onto another chase, or we can just like take the car ride, go to prison, and just do our time, and just basically just do your time in jail for like 30 minutes, 40, whatever. And like you can either do the time or just find a chance to escape and just be on the run, just stuff like that. Just do a little more stuff with the like getting arrested instead of just like getting busted and spawning out of the station. Just mix it up a little bit. Tell me what you think.
Thank you for the call, friend. Yeah, no, I think that's a pretty good idea. I've never thought of a GTA character kind of being inside prison and having maybe like a segment of the game as a prisoner, like if they got actually sent to prison, not just jail or whatever. And, you know, you have whatever's going on, prison politics and stuff, and you got to fucking fight the boss in the yard or whatever the deal may be. I think that's a good idea. I've never thought of having to actually serve time in the game. So that would be an interesting thing to experience. And, you know, I guess if there's the different options for people, let's say you want to skip all that, you have the option to just bribe the cops to get out right away, which I think most people would do, which is kind of how it is nowadays. I think at least back in San Andreas, you'd lose, you know, your weapons and then you lose some money or whatever to be able to get out. So, and if somebody wanted to play the game where they didn't want to pay that fee or whatever, they would go and do their time, and then maybe you'd have to pay a lawyer to get you out, or you would break out, like you said. But then you'd have a wanted level for a while or something like that. So there's a million opportunities for them to come up with in that regard. So yeah, I think that's a great idea. Thank you, friend, for the call. Appreciate it.
Hey, Hugo, it's Deep Joe again. Apparently my last voice message was too long. It got shut off in the middle of things. But I just wanted to tell you, you know, you're doing a really good job. I hate there's not more phone calls from other people listening, but keep up the good work on the podcast and keep up the good work on all the video games that you play on YouTube and stuff. I get a ton of enjoyment watching those while I'm at work and listening to them, but keep up the good work. I'm a local North Carolina guy myself, and Charlotte ain't too far away from here. But anyways, peace out.
Well, thank you, friend. Appreciate it. Glad you're enjoying. Thank you for the phone calls. Thank you for all the calls and emails this week. I appreciate it. If you want to call in and leave a message, you're welcome to do so. Call 1-818-691-5807. You just leave a voicemail. We'll play it. We'll listen to it. We'll talk about it, whatever you want to do. You can also email a audio clip, a voice recording of yourself if you want, to talkinggta69@gmail.com, and we can get you on the air that way, and we'll just continue on. Keep moving and grooving and talking GTA. It's been a lot of fun, so keep it going. Follow me on YouTube, Hugo1, Hugo1 streams, Twitch, Hugo_1, TikTok, Hugo_1_Mang. Big shout out to all the YouTube members: El Yissus Christ 02, Mill, Fanny, Monster Cat, Jonathan Miller, Zach W, Lucas, Katsune Teku, and True Forever. Thank you, friends. Appreciate it. That's it for this week. I hope you enjoyed. I will talk to you guys next time. Goodbye.